Timberline Trail, considered one if not the best 40-mile hike in the US, circumnavigates Mount Hood in Oregon's Cascade Mountain Range. Join us as we explore firsthand this backpacking trip of a lifetime, along waterfalls, geyser-carved canyons, and alpine views. We grabbed supplies from the local REI and headed off to the trailhead. It turned out to be a wet and freezing day and decided instead to stay at the lodge for the night. Adventure put on hold, we have to release some of the energy and enthusiasm. Excitement eventually gave way to waiting. Then boredom. And then a sense of cabin fever.
Here's Johnny!
Fortunately, we survived the night and was greeted with a magnificent view of snow-capped Mount Hood piercing above the sea of clouds. At a distance, Mount Jefferson stood tall. The Timberline Trail is named as the trail follows along just above and below the timberline around Mount Hood.
It's a question and answer portion. If you don't pass, then you have to go back.
We passed through old-growth forest where moss drapes the limbs of giant trees. So as I see it, this trail is like the tentacles of a kraken. For you to hike, you have to go over ridges, down to valleys, and cross streams multiple times. The most challenging part are the water crossings, which can change depending on the time of the day or the weather conditions. Berries are plentiful during this hike. Unfortunately, the fruit is considered poor quality for human consumption.
What is ampalaya, Papa?
Bitter gourd?
Bitter gourd? Yeah. Tastes like.
First, river crossing. The name of the game is to prevent dipping your feet on the icy water as much as you can. Okay. So we have just reached the junction for Paradise Park that way, and this is Pacific Crest Trail that way. We stopped at the canyon rim to eat our lunch, and were amazed at the landscape before us.
nato, di ba? Ito sa ubos na kana naman tong ganang red niya, oh.
Mag-ascribing no.
Ha?
We came upon an old lumber which appears to have been ravaged by wild animals foraging for food. It's a bear looking for some woodwork.
Siguro. Ang hakuna mata.
By now, we already know in choosing a crossing is to follow the cairns and choose the most safest crossing without getting your feet wet and as close to the trail across the river. After crossing Sandy River and an uphill later, we were rewarded with an astonishing sight of Ramona Falls as its water cascades along its rock formations.
Dali ang nagluto. Nagluto na kasindi. Mga umrayin ka. Ato ta mga layo. The usual. Corned beef. Corned beef and egg.
Corned beef na pud.
Anong kalugsungan.
We broke camp early to get more miles on our second day, We took the reroute as portion of the trail has been closed due to widespread tree blowdown during 2020 Labor Day windstorm. Part of those blowdown can still be experienced at the reroute, but mostly cleared. Since at the campsite, we met three group of hikers. One group comprised of a middle-aged guy, perhaps in his 50s, and two younger ladies. They were handing out their meals to other backpackers because they packed too much. Second group was a father and son duo from Texas, Kevin and Mark. His son wanted to hike the trail with him while he still can. Third group were buddies Mike and Chris. We call them the Kentucky Boys. Fun guys to observe, like watching a reality show live. So, we have been ascending Bald Mountain since crossing Muddy Fork. So I hope we reach the Bald soon. It's been a while. At the Pacific Crest Trail and Timberline Trail junction, the Texas boys took the other side of the Bald Mountain, while us and the Kentucky boys took the Scenic route. At the cutoff trail, we took our lunch.
Dami na lang kape ba? Naisog-isog man sa dyan. Yung kasi tamis. Nadobol na. Tsara.
So we are taking break for a while, taking our lunch.
Hi. I didn't see you.
There's a trail runner. Just passed us by.
Huh?
There's a trail runner. Just passed us by.
Kinsa ganang trail runner pa ba? Si Katubang.
Oh,
Beep beep.
hot coffee so good.
No, the beep beep pa ba?
Road runner.
Road runner. Trail runner.
Yeah.
The beep beep. Beep beep. Road runner. Ooh. Noodle na food.
Noodle the food!
Noodles na food. Later, corned beef na food.
More and more down trees cleared by the forestry services.
more.
Stop, right? Yeah. Just talked about this. I don't want to know. He knows exactly what's ahead and everything.
Can't get enough of this live Bob Ross painting. Far beyond the ghostly trees of the Dollar Lake Fire are the amazing views of Mount St. Helens, Mount Rainier, and Mount Adams. We couldn't reach Elk Cove for the night. We are losing daylight fast. We made camp among the newly grown pines clear from the dead trees. After missing our second campsite, about a mile or two, we readjusted our meals and fuel usage. We may be in for a fifth day. It is better to plan ahead and readjust as necessary.
Okay na ta. Ayan ka, sa taon na. Ang sana sa taon nga, dapat.
Ako basta sa fun. Labang tatumbo ka. Rosing, matatag cloud cap. Tungas ta sa highest point.
Yeah.
Kaya lang makatungas ta sa highest point. Nagnaog ta. Para mo na last.
Pas taon mo. Siguro.
Panawa naman kay kung ano na naman. So we couldn't sleep well last night. The wind was just all around us. We're going to break camp early so that we could make up for lost miles. Our objective for today is to go beyond the highest point of this trail. We pushed further into the white forest on a very windy morning, vigilant of any falling trees. Along the way, we bumped into the first group we met from yesterday. The trail was too much for the middle-aged guy and decided to abandon the hike. They met somebody who decided to take them on an exit trail and drive them back to Timberline Lodge. We eventually reached Elk Cove and prepared our breakfast. The view of the glacier is just stunning. First hurdle of the day is Cool Branch crossing. We have to get our feet wet amid a strong and freezing current. We pushed on further and reached another crossing that we thought was Elliott Creek. What a smooth crossing, I said to myself, only to find out much later it wasn't over yet. And as I gazed at the cloud-capped campground from a distance, I know Elliott Creek was just between us. And there it was, down below. We could hear the strong rushing of water among the rocks. The last water crossing hurdle, the most talked about crossing. As we hiked down the bank, a lone backpacker braved the slippery, narrow log. And rewarded instantly with his quick exit. But for us, we have to do it the old-fashioned way, braving the strong, freezing water. We eventually reached Cloud Cap to a well-deserved break. But then we have to push forward to reach the highest elevation of the trail before sunset. The view from above was spectacular. It amazes me just how I end up in these magnificent places. I guess for me the journey did not start at the Timberline Lodge, but halfway around the world when I decided on a quest to find my place in this world. Hunger and exhaustion eventually prompted us to camp at the higher elevation. We found a campsite just among the trees hidden from the wind. We couldn't reach to lower elevation as planned as the sun set early at the opposite side of Mount Hood. And as the sun rose and gave Mount Adams a morning glow, we know it was time to go. We then started our gradual descent. We prepared our breakfast just after Newton Creek. Welcome back to the game! Hey, where's the other two?
They're still eating breakfast to my
Okay.
Did you see the father and son? We asked the solo backpacker on the other remaining group status. We observed from a distance after crossing Elliott Creek that Mark, one of the Texas boys, were somewhat limping and lagging behind his dad. We were concerned that they too will not complete the hike.
Almost.
So we haven't eaten breakfast this morning because it was windy up there and we have to ration our water. We have just reached the first ski resort. So there you go. White River, the widest river from bank to bank on this trail. We decided to find a campsite after we cross it, just in case the weather turns bad and make it impassable. You don't want to be in this area when a flash flood occurs. After an uphill climb, we saw Timberline Lodge from a distance, where we started this journey 4 days ago. We decided to prepare our last meal before heading off to the lodge, and hoping we could see our friends one more time before we end this trip. And off we go. Suddenly from behind us appeared Mike, one of the Kentucky boys. So we were supposed to stay one more night at the trail, 2 miles from Timber Lodge. But then we kind of saw a bear tracks on the chosen campsite, so we decided to just skip it and finish the whole trail in 4 days. So look where we are now.
The lodge!
We're back at the lodge. Where is it? Where's the lodge? Yes, there it is. There it is.
It's over there!
Up here.
Yay!
Success! Survived the Timberline Trail.
Yeah.
This is Chris, our trail buddy. Was it 4 days, 6 days for you guys?
6 days, yeah?
Yeah.
We did it!
We did it. Survived.
Yeah.
We were surprised to see Kevin and Mark inside the lodge. Found them to have completed the trail. A great conclusion to this backpacking trip as we finished the trail at the same time.